Hello, everybody. Happy New Year. I feel like I never know when is the last day to be wishing people Happy New Year. If anyone wants to answer that, you can throw that into the chat. This is our first live chat for 2022. I had to take a little bit of a break to get through a couple of other things through the year, which I'll be sharing with you. But it's nice to be back. For those of you who have joined me in the past, you know already kind of the reason I'm talking over here. For those of you who are joining for the first time, I usually go live on multiple platforms, Facebook, YouTube, my Facebook profile, Facebook page, and then here with Instagram. The whole purpose of this live chat is kind of like a Q&A. I used to do a blog a very long time ago with an Ask Magna forum, and people would basically submit their questions, whether it was related to dance or something with learning or how to train properly or how to feel more confident on stage, those kinds of things. And they would ask those questions and I would answer them in a blog. But now with the advent of YouTube and live Instagram and all that stuff, Instagram wasn't around at that time. That just tells you how old I am and how long I've been around. But Instagram and stuff wasn't around at that time. But now, obviously, it is. And so I can do the same thing, except I can do it, I was going to say in person, but not in person, but live. You know what I mean? So, wherever you are joining from, please drop me a line, say hi, and put down your city or your country, wherever you're joining from. It's always nice to see how international this audience is. Um, Definitely makes me feel like there's a purpose to being connected worldwide. So drop me a line. I got some people here in Instagram. Oh, Hansi, hello. Mevlut. James from California is in the house. Nadia, hi, Johnny. Hi, Vlad from Florida. Te amamos. Hardman 302. I don't know where you're from. Let me know. Hi, Ashwin. Bianca from Florida. Chris from New Jersey. Eric from Texas. There we go. From Atlanta, we got lots of people. South of Spain, Luxembourg, Houston. Loving it, loving it, loving it, loving it, loving it. And from Romania. Hi, Elizabeth. And what do we have here? Diego. Where are you from? Elliot. I remember Elliot. Houston. Happy Sunday to you too, Matthew. Baltimore. Let's make this year much healthier. Lost 110 pounds and excited to get back to more dancing. That is amazing. Congratulations. Hi, Marty, Oklahoma. Wow. Really nice to see this very diverse crowd. And Wade is from the Apple Store. No, the Big Apple, New York. Oh, Ruben from Guayaquil, Ecuador. Anyways, like I said, and Aidan from Turkey. Merhaba. As I said, I have missed you guys. I'd like to say that first. I have missed you guys. I was doing the live chats on a monthly basis before. They were a little bit too long. They kind of went on because you guys asked such great questions. And my desire, is just to kind of be here and answer those questions. And so, of course, I just keep on answering and keep on talking. And for those of you who have taken workshops with me, you know that I can talk. So it wasn't really a difficult time for me to be like, oh, look at that. What's an hour and a half later, even though I said only 30 minutes. So today we will stay kind of within the time. There are a few things that I would like to share with you about 2022 and kind of the things that I've learned in the past 2 years, because for all of us, I don't know anyone who's not affected by COVID and quarantine and just a change of life, right? Everybody has been affected by that worldwide. And so these were some of the challenges that I had faced, challenges that I had never, ever expected to experience, and the solutions and the kind of approaches that I had taken to get through it. Instagram, let me know if there's a little tapping on that mic. I feel like there is, but if there isn't and you can hear me clearly, then just kind of give me a little thumbs up there. That would be appreciated. So before we get into it, I always like to ask questions too. Yes, I do have things that I would like to share with you, but of course, this is as two-way as possible as we can make it. So I would love to hear some of the challenges that you have faced. What did the past 2 years through COVID, through quarantine, reveal to you about yourself or about life or people in general? And then if you had solutions to that, please share that too, so that I can not only share some of the challenges that maybe other people have also experienced like you, but whatever solutions you put into place, I can share that too. The one thing that I had learned through all of this, and I have to keep coming back to this because this is my own self-criticism, right? Like where we're kind of wondering like, is what I'm doing worth it? Is what I'm doing bringing value, right? Like questioning ourselves. And what one thing I have learned, every single time I show up, whether it is writing a blog, whether it's going live, whether it is having a conversation with friends, whether it's posting a video, even posting a social dance video, every single time I show up, it helps somebody. And that has been without fail. Somebody somewhere appreciates you showing up and sharing whatever it is that you are going through in your life, good or bad, because sometimes we need that pick me up and sometimes we need to know that we're not alone. So I would love to know from all of you what you're thinking, what you've been going through, if you have found some really effective solutions. And of course, nothing is something that we just paint across the board that works for everybody, but you just never know, right? There's so many things that we apply to our lives that we think is the only way to do things because that's all we have had experience with. And then all of a sudden, someone else pops into the picture and says, hey, have you ever tried this? And you're like, I didn't even think about that. And then once you try it, you're like, wow, this has made things a lot easier, right? So take a minute, in addition to letting me know where you're from and saying hello, greeting me, greeting everyone else in the chat. Let me know some of the things that you have learned or that these past 2 years has revealed to you. Johnny is saying COVID is killing the salsa scene. That's an interesting point. I can see it, and at the same time, I can see COVID um, having added a lot more to it, just because people did not have access to instructors and instruction at the level that they do now. And I don't know that that would have come about on such a grand scale, on such a global scale from so many instructors, if not for COVID. So, killing the salsa scene, perhaps social dancing, but again, that's just a matter of time. But most people are still engaged and still active, and still learning and still training. So, when they come back, and when the salsa scene does come back, and I do believe it will, like we're getting to that point where variants of COVID are also diminishing in strength. Hopefully, if you're vaccinated, you've got a good immune system, or just living a healthy life, and you're okay. So things will come back. So I don't know if it's completely killing the salsa scene. It's added something that we would have never had, you know. Um, Art of Living classes. Dips from Toronto said he started taking the Art of Living classes to keep me grounded. That's amazing. Silje from Norway. Hi. I forgot how to say hello in Norwegian. I did learn it when I was there. Awesome. And over here we got Vicky. Hi, Alex from Brazil. Walking Dead from South Korea. Oh. Okay, so let me first get started with something that I'd like to share that has kind of taken me in and out of just being present and engaged and active and online and live and posting all these kind of things, which is my new website. I don't know how many of you heard about the when I had published it last year around this time, I had released the version of it myself, which I also did on my own. So I'm very proud of that. But there are a couple of things about this website that were a challenge. Like the reason that I had to do it again was actually because my previous version. So most of you probably know me from dance. I've been doing that for salsa dancing for over 20 years, traveling around the world teaching. So this is my forte. This is something that I feel like it's just in my blood at this point, and I know it inside out. Right? That's my strength. But then I got into public speaking as well. I gave a TED talk. I really enjoyed it. I found so much value in these lessons that I had extracted from dance and then taken those lessons and tried to convert them in a way for other people to also benefit from them. And they're like rejection, for example, in salsa, right? Lots of people deal with rejection in salsa, but lots of people deal with rejection in life. Now, the way I had approached it in dance is one way that I was able to offer that to other people. So then I started to say, okay, you know what? I have approached dance in a certain way that's allowed me to take a lot of excellent lessons that would benefit other people. So I want to go in that direction. It is still my direction to go in the direction of like public speaking, coaching, leadership development, learning and development, all these things that dance has shown me, that dance has taught me, but that is applicable to everything in life. So when I built my website last year, I wanted to present myself in the light, in the direction that I was going, which was speaking and coaching. And for some reason, and it could have been some of the people I had spoken to who weren't really hardcore dancers, who were more from corporate or the academia, and it almost looked like I shouldn't showcase dance. It almost looked like, if you want to go into this direction of speaking and stuff, it's not going to look as reputable if you are, oh, a salsa dancer. So my first version of my site, of me taking that time and effort to not redefine, but yeah, I guess reinvent and represent myself, did not even have dance as a main thing, even though half of my life has been dedicated to it. And the way I'd like all of you to listen to this is in the way you present yourself and in the way you look at your past and your experiences and your skills, whatever they may be, right? And how you want to apply that to the directions that you're going. So that was my previous version of my site. Now, the problem with it wasn't the design. The design was actually really great. I'm very proud of it. I had a lot of friends who are also designers say, wow, this is not bad for someone who's just done their own website for the first time. It wasn't the design, it was the identity behind the site. And the identity behind my site was one where I wasn't actually embracing who I am and all of the strengths that I have. These 20 years of dance, I wasn't putting that forefront, even though a lot of the speaking and the coaching and the philosophy and all of those things that I am now offering through public speaking are from lessons that I've learned through dance. So why was I putting that down? Why was I diminishing its importance? Right. And this was a question that I was struggling with. And the identity that I had created for myself in the design of my website, I then tried to match that, which meant that I was also putting dance on a lower level, even though it is still, after 20 years, one of my greatest passions and one of my greatest strengths, and one of the things that I can truly feel confident that I bring in a very positive way to the lives around me. All right. So that identification, and it could be a title, it could be how you present yourself in your, hi, I'm so and so, this is what I do. It could be a website, it could be your resume, it could be a biography, any of those things. It's important for us to identify ourselves in a way that embraces the things that we've gone through, the things that we've done, as well as our potential to do more. And so for dance being a big part of my life, but not anywhere on my main menu, it was insane, right? And it was hard for me to then go on and try and create content for what? I'm creating content for mindset, movement, communicate. Like it didn't even make sense to me, even though now my new version makes a lot more sense. And so this is basically what I had to go through last year, right? I felt this confidence of like, wow, built my own website and I've done all of these things by myself, but it's still not me, right? And now the new website, which I'm really really excited about. So if you guys get a chance, please go check it out, magnagopal.com. And also, I always talk about feedback forms on my lives. I always like to know what you have gotten out of it, and if there's some question that you'd like answered, because I don't always have a chance to get to everybody's questions, or you might not want to pose it publicly. So those feedback forms are fantastic for both of us to benefit, in one way or another. So that's on my website. That's on the contact page. I think it's pretty easy to navigate, but if you have any tips or if you had any problems, you can send me a message through the contact page and let me know as well. Okay. Um, but yeah, so this was the challenge, right? In building this site. And this site took me about 2 months to create. It took me a lot of reinventing myself, but also self exploration to find out who am I and what do I do. And I realized in the process between those two, between the previous version and to this version, the previous version focusing specifically and just like only on this coaching element, right? Not even the speaking, not dance, not even fitness. Um, and to this element, which just embrace all of those things that I do and all of those things that I offer, whether it is in person coaching, group coaching, workshops, classes, or my online content, I realized that I am many things. And each of those things makes the other stronger. And sometimes the way we look at what we do is, well, I can't be all of these things. And I heard that throughout this past 2 years. Well, Magna, you do dance and you do fitness and you're a speaker and you're doing this. And I almost started to say, yeah, I guess you're right. I can't do all of these things. I probably can only do one or two of those things. So what am I doing saying I can do all of these things? But of course I can do all of those things. I had been doing all of those things, right? And we all do a lot of things. And most of us put a lot of those other things that we do for fun, but that we're damn good at, we put them on the side. And we put them on the side, we don't showcase them, we don't present them because we don't think that they add value to the thing that we are presenting. And the reality is that every every single thing connects, right? So let's say in my case, on my website, I'll go off my site because I feel like it's so much better presented that I can actually just speak about myself from my website. Um, I have dance, fitness, speaking, coaching, right? Someone's like, oh, well, you're doing coaching. How does that relate? Like, how does dance relate to it? I've been a teacher for 2 decades, right? I have helped people grow. I understand the difficulties that people encounter when it comes to learning something new, learning something difficult, to present themselves and express themselves creatively and authentically. That's how dance contributes to my coaching. Fitness. Fitness is a lifestyle. Fitness requires discipline and a regimen and an idea of how to take care of yourself. Fitness is self-care, right? How can you take care of other people if you don't even take care of yourself? Fitness is a representation of that, right? That is another element that goes into coaching. When it comes to speaking and presenting, yeah, they're like, oh, well, what could you present from like the dance thing? There are so many speakers and coaches out there. Tony Robbins, right? I think everybody knows that name. And he's amazing. But Tony Robbins doesn't have 20 years of salsa dance experience connecting with people on a level that is nonverbal, solely physical, and being able to communicate, ask something, ask for someone to do something, respond to that, be able to connect in 5 minutes with another human being on such a profound level. Even he doesn't have that experience. So why would I hide that? Why would I put that aside? That is what makes my speeches and my coaching different, right? And then the connection between dance and fitness, right? My dancing is related to how I train, and my fitness is created from the way I approach dance with the same creativity, right? So if there are things that you do, whatever they may be, and if you feel like, oh, I don't know if I want to talk about this, or I want to share this, or want to present myself as also this, just know that whatever you put in, whatever effort you put in to get good at that other thing that you just do for fun, has so many elements that apply to your success personally, professionally, and in all your relationships and your communication. Because we can't get good at anything without dedication, without discipline, without motivation, without persistence when that motivation is lacking, right? Without some sort of creativity to overcome our own personal challenges to whatever that thing is that we're pursuing. Because dance, for example, is one of those things where, you know, if I'm teaching something and you are 6 feet tall with really long limbs, what I'm teaching might not work for you exactly the way I do it. So you got to get creative, because I can't necessarily, I mean, I can kind of say, maybe you could do this differently, but I still have no idea what it feels like to be 6 feet tall. So that's going to have to come from within you. And that's something we all bring to everything that we do, right? So if we started looking at some of the things that we do in that light, right? With that approach of what are the underlying skills required for me to get good at something, to enjoy something, right? Because even enjoyment of something requires a positive attitude, requires a positive approach, right? There are people who go out dancing after a bad day and say, you know what, I'm letting it all go and I'm going to come here and like smile. Why don't we do the same thing when it comes to like work, right? There are plenty of people in service industries, right, who have a bad day and come to work and bring their bad day to work, and now everyone else has to deal with it. But that's very rarely happening in dance. People with bad days leave that shit at the door, right? That's a skill, to let it go, to not carry that weight. That is a skill. So, that is kind of like with my whole website. That's one of the new things that I wanted to talk to you about. And that has been a big challenge of mine through this past year and the previous year, because I danced. Dance is what I did, and I traveled with dance, and that is what I did. And I knew how to do that really well. I could do that in my sleep. Well, probably not, because I'd probably miss my flight if I was sleeping trying to travel. So, but I just knew exactly what it entailed. And then all of a sudden, COVID happened. No more travels. Now what? Then I started doing fitness, and people actually enjoyed that. They're like, wow, these workouts are really fun. And it's great to have you leading them, because now I don't feel like I'm just watching someone else say, oh, 5 more reps, and I have to do it on my own. I feel that struggle and sweat with you, right? All of a sudden, I have this other offer, which I was really not expecting. And then the speaking and all that stuff, I thought I would have to wait until things opened up again. But I had a chance to do a lot more speeches with Toastmasters, with Wonder Girls, with this Speakers Bureau, with more, right? So all of these things came into play in such a beautiful way, but in such a challenging way, because I had no idea how to deal with all of that. Right. So what COVID revealed to me, right, in the past 2 years, what it revealed to me is how much I'm capable of, right? How many things I can do and do well, but also that my past systems don't work for the current situation and the current environment and the things that I'm pursuing. So I can't approach it in the same way that I did with traveling and dance, where I had my system, where I was just I had my routine, right? I can't do that. I don't have any routine now, right? With all these new things, no travel, no this, no that. I had no routine. I had to figure things out. I had to create new systems. And speaking of that, actually, I'm going to make one more point on that. Is I someone had asked me about how do you kind of like stick to your goals and how do you accomplish these things and get forward with a lot of stuff. One of those is systems. Okay. This might be something you can see a little bit more clearly in a group dynamic, but it still applies to us and how we manage our own lives personally, which is basically um, we have a way of doing things, right? Everyone does. And then there's a way that things are done. And there's a difference between those two things. They can be the same, but there's usually a difference between those two things. In a group dynamic, for example, I'll give you guys, as I mentioned, I do Toastmasters as well, and we were having this chat about membership outreach, like what are the ways to reach out to existing members to get them to do their speeches and all of these things. So there are a couple of people that have that responsibility. And so one person was saying, well, this is what I'm doing. And the other person said, okay, well, this is what I'm doing. And so everyone had their way of doing things, but there was no way of the way things were done. And that made it difficult, actually, to make sure that membership outreach was done in a consistent and effective manner because everyone had a different process. So, depending on who you were hearing from, you would be hearing something different. And so, for myself as well, travels, right? Like I'm talking about the system about salsa dancing when I was traveling all the time, but I don't even know if I could accurately call that a system. I think I would say it was more of a habit, right? I fell into a routine, into a habitual way of doing things, but I didn't have a system that I could say, look, like let's say I had an assistant. I didn't have a system that I could say, look, this is my pre-trip plan. This is what needs to happen. This is my arrival plan. These are the things that have to get done. And this is when I return home. These are the things that have to get done between this trip and that trip. I didn't have a fixed system. I just knew how to do things, right? And with the Toastmasters meeting that we had about this membership outreach, same thing. A we didn't have a system to actually get everybody on the same track doing the same thing so that we could actually see results. And in terms of that question that I was asked, I think it was Wade, in the terms of the question I was asked about how do you conquer these challenges, how do you set these goals and stick to your goals and make advancements, it's by creating systems that we can put into place that run no matter what we're feeling that day, right? No matter what we're thinking, no matter all of the ideas that pop into our head, and there are so many, right? Especially if you have that creative mind, and most of you who come from dance have that creative mind. But especially if you have that creative mind, there's so many ideas that come into your head. And if you don't have a system, it's so easy to get sidetracked. And I experienced that very, very strongly in the past 2 years. Um, and then one other part with the systems is not just important to have what's done in what order, who's supposed to do it, but it's also really, really, really important to have the time required to do it. Time management, I would say, is usually fails for most people, or it's difficult for most people, including myself, um, because we have not done a good job of estimating the time required. Right? It's so easy for us. In anyone's day, you could say, "Oh, I got to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that," and you might, in your head, have an idea of how long it'll take you to do X, but you have not factored in how long it will take you to get ready to get to the transportation that will then take you to get to X to do X, and then the time required to go from X to Y, for example, and the preparation required. And that's where we fail. That's where everything falls apart, is because, yeah, maybe I set aside an hour to meet somebody, but I did not factor in completely into my calendar, into my scheduling, the time required to prepare for that. So let's say for recordings, right? If this, even this live chat requires preparation, Live chat is in my calendar as an hour, but every time I do live chats, I understand that I need that hour before as well as about 30 minutes to 45 minutes after to process the recording and all of that kind of stuff. If I just put an hour for the live chat and immediately schedule something after, I'm never going to be able to process these live chats in a way that actually delivers value to all of you. And what is my goal ultimately, right? My goal is to provide value, right? So if I have that goal, that's my purpose. And then I've decided here are the many ways that I can do that, right? There's my why, here's the how. Then what exactly is required is not just the item that you're doing, but the many things attached to it, right? And the many things that buffer it. Oh, okay. All right, let's see. Blah, 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 blah. Lots of talking. So let me just go through some of the comments here. Gonna start with our people on Instagram. I wish there was a way. Oh, nope, that's not a way either. Instagram's not. I mean, unless you got somebody here just replying to everything, it's so hard to whoops to scroll through. But for those of you here on Facebook, I'm coming back to you in a second. Let me know what your thoughts are on that. Let me know what your struggles have been. What are some of the ways that you have approached it? Have you also kind of been looking at yourself as one dimensional when really, in fact, you are just this amazing multidimensional human being with so much to offer? You know, are you able to see the strengths that you have in the little things that you think are insignificant and how they apply to making you a better person, how they could apply to making you a better person in everything else that you do? Clave Conscious, hello. Hi, Darnell, you made it. Rio, thank you. Munchkin in the house. Intelligent, smart, and beautiful. Why single? Lack of options, my friend. Lack of options that I'm willing to hop on. Saita's in the house from Holland. Remember, if you're just joining, please shoot me messages. Let me know where you're joining from. Hola, Tomasito. Irene, I love this. Thank you. Rio asked, what about eating healthy? I exercise so I can eat whatever I want. That's kind of my approach to fitness as well. I want to enjoy life, but I understand it needs balance. So what are my choices? I really enjoy chocolate and all those kind of things. So I do fitness to balance that out. Clave Conscious says, wow, needed to hear this. Appreciate that. Rio said dancing and fitness equals good spirit. It sure does. Vlad said, I agree. If I didn't start dancing a couple years ago, I'd burn out at work by now. Class time forces me to finish work on time. Sure. Remember, if you are here in Instagram, please shoot me fill out the feedback form. I'll throw this here on the feedback form aquí. Where is it? magnagopal.com/feedback, or just go to the website. The contact section has the feedback form for the live chat and the Q&A. I really do appreciate you when you engage, when you show up. So the fact that you're here, that you're listening, great. I'm so happy. I do hope that you find some value in what we're covering. When you interact and you let me know, that confirms it for me, that gives me that great, I did get that message across, and this is what this person learned. And then, of course, when you pose your own questions, that allows me to be even more purposeful and helpful, which is the goal. All right, let me get to a couple more comments here. Johnny, you look so beautiful today. Well, thank you. See, I put an effort for you guys. I did. Because if I didn't have to be alive, I would be a little bit more of a bum. But I did shower for the month today. Thank you. I appreciate that. This open break dip under my arm. Darnell asked, my questions aren't, said, if we ever dance, could you do this open break dip under my arm? Yeah, I probably can. Husiera, I'm from Indiana. Saw you probably 20 years ago when I was in the dance scene. So happy we now have social media so I can keep up with your artistry. You've had an amazing journey. I appreciate that, and I'm glad that I can share that with all of you. Um, Clave Conscious asks, what are some techniques or thought processes that you use to hype yourself up when feeling lack of motivation to start the day or when you feel unsure about the why of your goal or mission? Wow, that's a really good one. I'm coming back over here in a second. But the question was, what are some techniques or thought processes that you use to hype yourself up when feeling lack of motivation to start the day or when you feel unsure about the why of your goal or mission? Um, many days that I've had that. I would say one technique is, again, a system. A system really helps. Um, One system that I was using was this thing. I forgot the author's name, but it was called Miracle Mornings, and it included a couple of things that you do in the morning, right? And it was included meditation, some form of movement, affirmations, visualizations, reading, and journaling. And the book that I had read talked about doing this for 10 minutes each. So that's an hour. And of course, me struggling with my time before, I'm like, an hour? You must be crazy. I don't have an hour. Where the fuck, where am I going to put an hour into the day? And I don't like waking up early in the first place, right? So I'm like, I have to wake up earlier to do that just so I can get started with the other things. I'm like, nah. I appreciated the concept, the content, but I couldn't get behind it because of the time required. And then I approached it with this 2-minute rule. Just do it for 2 minutes. Whatever it is that you are struggling with, just do it for 2 minutes. And if you want to continue, you can. But what I did was I put a 2-minute timer and I did meditation for 2 minutes. I put a 2-minute timer, put some music on, and just sat there and tried to control my breathing and my thoughts. And wherever they went, they went. That timer went off. That was the end of meditation. Um, Affirmations, there are tons of stuff that you can find on YouTube and Spotify to help guide that, because I was like, I don't know, what am I supposed to say to myself, right? So I just find somebody else and I just listen to that and follow along. 2 minutes, that's it. If that 2-minute timer goes off in the mid sentence, so be it, right? 2-minute timer for visualizations. What do I want to get done? What do I want to accomplish in my life? What kind of legacy do I want to leave? What are the things I see in my future, right? Those kind of things. Journaling, it could be as simple as like, what's one thing I'm thankful for? Something like that. That takes me maybe a minute and a half to think about and write. Same thing with reading. Maybe I only read a page or two in that 2 minutes, right? Whatever it was, I set a timer and I was done in 2 minutes. So that 1 hour task only took me 12 minutes to complete, but it gave me a routine to every time I woke up. And it did actually kickstart my day. So maybe it's not that, that entire six process, but maybe it's something else. But ideally, if you can have a couple of things that you do when you wake up, that you would like to do when you wake up, identify those things. And then whatever time you think is required for those things is really subjective, and it's a very subjective number, really. It depends. Like, for the person, some people really like to write, right? So writing for 2 minutes really does nothing for them. Writing for an hour is something they can accomplish with ease, right? But if it's something you want to do, just do it for 2 minutes. But see if you can stack a couple of 2-minute tasks, and then maybe there's something that you enjoy. Make that one 5 minutes, right? And all of a sudden you've got a little bit longer routine, but you have a routine that helps kick off your day, right? I hope that helped answer your question, Clave Conscious. All right, so let me go over here really quickly. And then I'll come back to 2 minutes of stretching, Johnny. That works too. All right. Sorry. So Facebook, YouTube. Hi. Whew. See, there's one challenge. One good thing about Facebook and YouTube joining on there, because I feel like you can join from your computer and you can really like type out messages. So I'm getting these long messages. Wade said, my biggest challenge for the past 2 years has been reconnecting with the past amazing friendships and strengthening that bond. is still a process that keeps going, and I'm succeeding in that department. That is awesome. Matthew says, my goal for 2022 is to reinvent myself, let go of my past, and enjoy the moment. I'm pushing myself to be the best version of me, for me, and my family. Beautiful. Um, Degur, for my part, I was not prepared in 2020 and 2021 with this pandemic, but I don't think any one of us were. But I did have more time for myself and my projects to help other people. My advice for all dancers is if they can't dance to show their work, they could do a second job in their category. For example, I cook for many people from home. That's amazing. Salsa Sunshine, is she freezing for anybody else? Oh, I hope not. Um, Matthew Richardson said, yes, it's time is hard for me in the hospital and can be even more challenging at home. Elizabeth, my QFit crew forever member, um, wanting to remain open to all the possibilities presenting itself. And you always are. I love that positivity that you bring. Matthew said, I started doing health coaching in addition to working on my health and working as a nurse last year. That's amazing. Struggled to keep up with my goals at times, and planning energy and time was definitely where I hit barriers. Way loving the time management take and the importance of preparation before the preparation. Started. All right, so let me. Wow, there's so much stuff here. I want to talk to. Saita said, thanks for the 2-minute routine answer. I want to talk to one more thing, and of course, we went over time again. Um, Alex said, your fitness routine is oriented to enhance your dance. It's not actually. My fitness routine is oriented to enhance my spirit inside, and my spirit dance is also there to enhance my spirit inside. I have this kid inside of me who just wants to have fun and try everything and discover and explore and fail and get up and do it again. That's how I approach fitness. That's how I approach dance. That's how I approach everything in life. All of these new adventures, even friendships and everything. I go all in and see where it takes me. I put my best effort. I get creative. I try new things. I try my best to enjoy myself in every moment. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But that's how I approach everything. All right. So there's one comment that I want to talk on, and this might be the last one that we talk about for today. I will be doing this again on a regular basis. Speaking of that, actually, so one, check out the website, magnagopal.com, and let me know what your thoughts are, but also go to the contact page. There's a feedback form. I would really, 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 really appreciate your time to share that there. If you want to, throw in something for support, I think you can do that on Instagram now with badges, and you can definitely do that in YouTube and Facebook. If you just look into the description, I think it's like buy a coffee or something like that. So you could do that as well. But in addition to the website, I am also going to have some master classes that I'm going to release online soon. That is another topic in itself, because that was another one that was like so much content. Like I have so much stuff and I want to put it out there, and I was struggling to like figure out what is the best way. Like putting out little clips on a membership platform works for some content, but not everything. And I was trying to fit all of my stuff into one box of like a membership subscription base with like, tutorials. And it just doesn't all work that way. And that was another thing I have discovered in this past year, that we all have different offers in our life, and we can't box it all together and say everything is going to be offered in the same way. So these master classes, once they are ready, once they're done, they will be offered as courses. They will not be a part of the membership platform. Membership platform is for, your quick bites, that you want to kind of get a little bit of information here and something to drill. The master classes are master classes. The whole idea of them is to like really drill down. And that's not taking like a small bite. That's about going through a course, So depending on your dedication, depending on your interest, depending on your investment, what you want to accomplish, there'll be something different for that, and YouTube, I will actually be soon opening up my membership on YouTube as well. So these live chats, which they are going to have to be shorter. That's the other thing, right? To budget in terms of time. Saying 20 minutes and putting it in your calendar for 20 minutes and then going on talking for an hour is a problem, right? But yeah, I'll be doing the shorter live chats probably once a month or so, and then doing a membership one where it'll be more of an intimate group. So whenever that's launched, I will let you all know. So if you want to join that, that will be a more personalized, almost like kind of a Q&A, but just really getting back and forth with each other. What was I going to say? Wait, that's right. That was my one thing. Fitness gave better. Where's Wade's comment? Okay. So I'm going to talk about this. This will be kind of the last thing that I hit before I sign out. Wade's comment was, my biggest challenge for the past 2 years has been reconnecting with past amazing friendships and strengthening that bond. It's still a process that keeps going, and I'm succeeding in that department. So I'm not specifically talking about past friendships and strengthening bonds, even though that has been a beautiful thing that's come out of this whole COVID and quarantine. I got a chance to connect with people who I used to see all the time, but very fleetingly, because dance was just, oh yeah, hey, so nice to see you. And then we would just disappear and be dancing for the rest of the night. Whereas now I got a chance to have like regular calls with them and really connect. But this last point that I want to talk about is something that I am sure we've all had to go through and that we will go through on both sides. And it is about help. It is about asking for help and being asked for help. And I'll give a little bit more of a personal experience first. So someone close to me had asked me for my help, right? And kind of being there to listen and to like for that person to basically dump all of their emotions and their thoughts and everything that they were going through. And I am generally I pride myself on being this pillar of support for the people in my life, whatever level of friendship that we have, close friends or even like acquaintances. And those of you who have interacted with me in chats and direct messages or emails, that if you present to me a real genuine problem, if I can, I'm there and I'm trying to help. But what I just told all of you about this past year and how it has been a difficult year, where I was struggling, this existential crisis of like, who am I? What do I have to offer? Why am I doing the things that I'm doing? I was not in a good place to offer help. And this is a problem that is often more common to those people who are like people pleasers, right? People who want to be there for everybody, who are maybe even hero mentality. I can save the day. I can solve it. I can fix it, um, then maybe you can. But the truth is, if you are struggling, you got to think about what can you truly offer someone else, because you're bringing your baggage of struggles to the equation most of the time. In my scenario, in my case, I had to back out. As difficult as it was, I had to back out when I was being asked for this help because I could not be there. I can be there now. If this person asked me for the same help again today, I can 100% be there and provide solid support. But I could not be there at that time. And it was really, really hard for me to say no. But I had to set that boundary, not just because I couldn't be there, but we sometimes don't think about the consequences of us saying yes to everything, right? Like, yes, I'll help you out. But if I can't help you, am I doing more damage? And then ultimately, if my goal was to help you and I've done more damage, I have not only not accomplished my goal, but I have worked against it, right? So it's important for us, and because everyone is going through something, everyone has been dealing with a lot of stuff, and that's something that I have been seeing through this past 2 years is how much we're all going through individually. So we're, as much as we would like to be that strong person every day, sometimes we are weak. Sometimes we need a break. Sometimes we need to disconnect. Sometimes we need just time for ourselves. And we cannot be there for other people. And that does not mean that you don't care. And that's the other problem. Because sometimes when someone asks you for help and you say, I can't, there's this feeling of like, I hope this person doesn't think that I don't care about them. I hope this person doesn't feel rejected. I hope this person still comes to me in the future. And it's most of the time that we make our commitments is for future. Like we say yes to something. So even if we can't, because we're like, well, I don't want to lose the opportunity in the future. Right. And it's not about opportunity taking advantage. It's about opportunity to be a friend. Right. If somebody asks you for help and you can't help them, sometimes you feel like maybe they'll not ask me again. You're going to lose that friendship. But in reality, it's really important for us to check whether we are capable of providing it in the first place, and then being clear about that. Because if you do more damage when you're already struggling, you're not only damaging the situation, right? With this person that's asking you for help, you are possibly not helping actually, right? Because you're coming with your own, whatever negative energy and your own thoughts in your own head, your own baggage. But all of that process of you being present with that person is going to end up also damaging you, because now you have another failure to add to whatever has been consuming you, to whatever pressure and stress you're feeling. You have this failure that you didn't help somebody. You knew you couldn't. You said yes despite that, and you failed because that was bound to happen. And now you pretty much voluntarily put yourself in position to add more stress on yourself. So it's really important, self-care and setting some boundaries, because if we don't, we are no good to anybody, especially ourselves. And if we can't be strong, if we can't renew and re-energize and have that strength to support someone else, we are doing more damage to both parties, and it's a lot of pressure, but you're doing well to not take that on. And on the flip side, and that'll be, I guess, kind of my last point before I just go through a couple of comments. On the flip side, when you ask for help, there needs to be an a lack of expectations. Of course, we ask for help, wanting help, right? Whatever we ask for, we usually ask because we want it, right? We need it or we want it. Um, but if you're asking for help and you have expectations that the person you're asking should help, then you are going to be in for some really rough relationships, my friend. My position of asking for help has always been, I ask and I am accepting of whether you can provide or not. You might not be in a place, and you might not want to tell me the reason, and you don't have to tell me the reason. All I can do is give you the benefit of the doubt that you are a human being who is in my life, who cares about me, who would help if you could, right? That is my only, I guess, expectation of that relationship with someone that I am asking for help, right? If you can't, I don't hold it against you. I don't sit there and say, well, now you're no longer the friend that you were. Of course you are. You just can't be there for me right now, right? But I have experienced this, right? Where I've been on the receiving end. Same thing with that same situation I just mentioned, where the person was like, you can't listen to me. You can't just like be around for a couple of days and listen to me. And I said, I can't, not right now. I'm really sorry, right? So I know how they must have felt, because the feeling was, wow, I thought I could count on this person. But other than that one time, I have always been there. And I specified that too, right? Which was, look at the track record. Don't look at the moments. Look at the track record. Look at what has been consistent for the most part with this person. And not just inconsistency in like, are they always late or are they always on time? But look at the things and place that consistency on a level or something of importance, right? Of priority. Like if they are late for parties, right? Does that matter as much as if they are late for taking you to the doctor or something, right? Like there's a difference, right? If you put them at the same level, you have really unrealistic expectations, and you're going to be in line for some disappointment, right? Yes, I would love to have that consistency across the board, but there are some things that are more important than others. So if somebody shows up in your life for those really important moments almost all the time, but one or two times cannot show up, you know don't ruin that friendship, don't lose that friendship, don't let it go. Ask a question before you make a judgment. And if you don't feel comfortable asking that question, then just don't make that judgment call. Reserve that judgment, because we lose a lot of really quality friendships and relationships in our life because we're so quick to react to something that we have no idea why it happened, right? Just going through here. Hi, Sir Tech. Thank you. I got a badge. It's like a coffee on Instagram. Thank you. Hi, Elon. Hi, Manola. All right. A couple of comments here. Oh, where is that? Magna, I know you were going to start dating when you feel it's a good fit. Absolutely. It's too much, there's so much to give, and I would rather give it to someone who's willing to kind of meet me halfway and give the same. Otherwise, I am totally content spending my time with you guys, which I would still do. Just saying, if I was in a relationship, I would still do that. I would still make time for you because this means a lot to me. Matthew, struggles for me have been time management and not allowing for too much flexibility for life events. Absolutely, especially when life is so up in the air with things these days. Need to allow for alternative methods to achieve my goals. Yeah. Elizabeth, my goal is not being limited by my own fears. And so I'm just reading these comments because, again, like I said, wherever you are, whatever you feel, you are not alone. There's so many people going through the same thing, and that is one of the reasons why it is worth sharing, whatever it is. You're right, whether you post a comment, whatever, be as personal or impersonal as you like, but if you're ever questioning whether you should share something, I'm sure there's someone who really appreciates it. Matthew, another issue for me is at times dealing with the mental block stifling my creativity or having too many ideas to really settle for a good one. I'm looking for the happy medium. I struggle with that a lot. All right. Alberto from Mexico. Hello. Wade, I'm going to have to get to that comment next time. As much as I would love to answer that now, I'm going to have to wait until next time. So I don't want to go into an hour and a half. I said I wouldn't do it, and I already made it to an hour. So, Johnny, thank you. I got another badge. So again, if you are here, thank you for joining me. Happy New Year to all of you. Welcome to 2022. There is a lot of good that is in this year, whatever bad. And I have so many really challenging things that I would like to share with all of you. And I will throughout these live chats as well, to show you that it's really about mindset. It's really about perspective. And there's always a way to look at it and neutralize a situation that is emotionally heavy and regulate your emotions so that you can actually make advances in a way that helps. Okay. So yeah, if you are here on Instagram or on Facebook or YouTube, please go check out my website, magnagopal.com. Go to the contact section and there's a feedback form for this live chat. So if you don't mind throwing in your feedback, that would be really, really appreciated. What did you enjoy? What is the lesson that you took from this? What is a question that you would like answered in a future chat? I'm here for you, and like I said, I missed all of you. I have missed this. This brings me a lot of joy. So thank you for being here with me. Second thing is keep an eye out. Those master classes are coming soon on, of course, I'll launch it and post it everywhere as I usually do. But keep an eye out those. If you really want to take your dancing to another level, going back to dance, and you really want to understand your fundamentals and understand movement on a level that I promised you no one else is teaching, those master classes, courses will be for you. And then to show support, of course, I've been getting some badges here. So I just want to say thank you to Rio. Thank you to Johnny. Eleftheria said, such an incredible inspiration on and off the dance floor. Strategies to limit procrastination in life. Eleftheria, please send a feedback form and throw that into the questions into the feedback form. Because as soon as this Instagram thing ends, I lose all of the chat. Okay. So I won't be able to find that again. So please, again, if you are on Instagram, especially if you're on Instagram and you have a question and you posted it and I didn't get a chance to attend to it, please send me the feedback form and put your question in there so that I can attend to it in the future. Okay. Thank you, Saita. Thank you, everybody. I'm going to always be smiling here. Thank you, Rio. Thanks, Lance. Hi, Natalie. Just arrived. And thank you, everyone here. Please send your feedback, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel. There's, really easy ways to support is supporting the channel, which then, of course, allows me to get more perks that I can then use to offer you more things, right? Have a fantastic day. Happy New Year. I will see you in February. I will let you guys know when the next thing is. Oh, and also, let me know what you would like to hear more of, and I guess like in the feedback form, at least, like how you would want the communication, right? Like live chats, are these good? Do you like the blog articles that are on the website? Just curious. Because again, part of the struggle is like in what I want to offer is there are many ways to offer it. I want to know that they bring value. Ultimately, that's the goal, is to bring value. So that's my purpose, and what I do is to empower, the empowered, right? My purpose is to empower all of you. And I want to know some of the best ways or the different ways that I can approach. Again, it's not a one formula fits everybody, one solution fits all. So I understand that. And I don't mind doing multiple things, but I would like to know, what are you enjoying? What are you appreciating and why? All right. This replay will be on YouTube, on my YouTube channel. For those of you on Instagram, the replay will be on my YouTube channel. So just, I think it takes maybe like 30 minutes or so to process, but it'll be on there. We had such a great chat today. Thank you so much. Like this fills my soul. So I'm very, very happy to have all of you and to start the year off. I've missed you. And I want to say one last thing. This is another thing. Somebody talked about procrastination here and as well on Facebook and on YouTube. And this was a challenge for me as well, because I was doing the monthly live chats and then I kind of stopped because I had to focus on some other things. And then I had to do the website. Now I realized that if I did not focus and put all my attention into the website, that I would not get it done in a time frame that was acceptable to me. So I did take a break from really interacting with everything. But then the longer that break, the more it feels hard, the harder it feels to come back in. Right. And then I'm like, well, what's the point? Like, I haven't even been doing it. Who cares? Like, is anyone going to even want to join again? But then that's my thought in December. Right. And then all of a sudden I didn't do anything in December because I was like, why bother? I've already missed 5 months. So I've already missed 6 months. Right. But the more you sit there thinking about it and not acting, now it's 7 months that you missed. Now it's 8 months that you miss, like, you don't want to get to that point of like too preoccupied to act to too ashamed to act, right? You're busy. That's fine. Life happens, right? Everyone will understand. And if they don't, you're not trying to cater to them anyways, right? So if you're busy with other projects and you've had to take a break, so be it. But then don't keep on delaying. because you've already delayed, right? Because you have had an absence. Don't keep on delaying that thing that you want to bring back, because you just never know who's sitting there waiting for it, right? Who's sitting there like, I can't wait for that to come back. I don't care how long it takes. I don't care what this person, needs the break for, what they're doing. I just want them back, right? So that was a struggle for me to get back with these live chats. I was like, what's the point? I haven't even done it in so long, but I'm so glad I'm here with all of you. And I'm really, 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 really thankful for all of your feedback and all of these hearts, which Instagram allows to happen. I don't really see them pop up here. So thank you. I will see you next month. Okay. Have a lovely day and happy new year. Again, I will not say this next time, I promise. And also, yeah, stay positive, feel empowered. And if you need anything, you know where to find me. MagnaGoPal.com. Bye. Hi, Angel. Hi, Juan. Hey, Lourdes. No problem. Hi, Omar. Wade, keep that question for next time. Billy, I'll see you in the next one for sure. Already over an hour. Bye, guys. How do I end this? Oh, there we go. All right. Sorry. Bye.